The year is 1851. At dawn, the great nations of the plains gathered by the...
From this river north to the Yellowstone, this is where we hunt.
He indicates the boundaries for the hunting grounds, up to the Yellowstone.
The forts along the Bozeman are closed. This map defines the Great Sioux Reservation.
The Black Hills are the heart of our home. We must live there.
August 1868. The soldiers abandon the forts along the Bozeman Trail as required by the treaty.
A blue column rides through dark pines as wagons creak. Notes of gold enter the logbooks and rumors travel far beyond the hills.
The President instructs us to offer a just sum for the Black Hills.
We have spoken. The Black Hills are not for sale.
The winter of 1876 brought new orders. Return to the agencies by the deadline, or face the loss of all rations.
With the stroke of a pen, the Fort Laramie Treaty is redefined. The Black Hills are no longer protected Lakota territory.
We follow the greasy grass here, where the buffalo are plenty. The river bends like this near the red earth.
Wagons lengthen the road that divides grazing. Escorts ride the margins. The road is a moving claim across Bison Range. A treaty recognizes territories and promises annuities and safe passage for roads. It relies on rivers and landmarks to name boundaries.
Survey stakes marked a future line. The scouts watched as the new road promised speed and more settlers.
Along the Bozeman Trail, Red Cloud's warriors escalated their attacks on the U.S. forts.
The Great Sioux Reservation is defined. The Black Hills are set aside for Lakota use. Forts on the Bozeman Road will be abandoned.
Annuities arrived strictly by schedule and ledger, deepening the dependence of the Lakota families. Commercial hunting rapidly accelerated the collapse of the great herds, impacting the Lakota way of life.
Reports of gold spread beyond the valley. Trespass grows despite the treaty words on paper.
This is our final offer for the lease of the territory.
The Black Hills are not for sale. Not for gold, not for anything.
Any land change requires consent of 3/4 of the adult males.
Administrative control shifts toward the Interior Department. Enforcement of boundaries softens as economic pressure grows.
A message orders all bands to report by a set date. Congress ties food to session. Rations tighten while negotiations stall. Hunger turns law into pressure. Papers move faster than herds. A statute will soon redraw the reservation line, even as winter lingers on the plains.
Keep it quiet, but I think this is it.
September 1874. The patrol documented the trespass, logging the increasing number of wagons inside the boundary. Newspaper handbills feed the rush. Freight schedules align with rumor, turning words into roads.
We offer $25,000 for the Black Hills tract, paid in supplies. This ledger lists the names.
We will...
All bands are hereby instructed to return to their agencies by the fixed date of January 31st.
Families move along the river ice. A courier rides ahead with the agency order, the cold biting at hands on the reins.
I'm afraid the barrels are empty. We simply don't have enough for everyone.
The column pushed deeper into the Powder River country, unaware they were already being watched.
A brief exchange at the Tongue River breaks. Neither side held the ground, sending riders for support instead.
A great victory, but what comes next?
The white man will not forget this day. He demands to know if this consent clause means the land is ceded forever.
I am struggling with the word for perpetual.
You speak of another country, but it is not my country. I was not born there.
If it is such a good...
By the autumn of 1876, the lines of prospectors stretched for miles, a relentless tide pouring into the hills.
You can't just take our load. We have rights.
Agency regulations, sir. The whiskey stays here.
Get this wagon turned around now.
The inventory book records each animal against a family name.
The clerks noted that many adult men were absent on the plains. The margin of 3/4 was simply not met on paper.
The treaty line was clear on paper, but here in the hills, the camps thicken daily. Winter be damned. Rations will be stopped unless the Indians consent to the proposed terms. This is the only way to bring them to an agreement before spring.
The price is firm, I'm afraid. We barely got the shipment through the snow.
The transit is set.
All right, let's run the chain 50 rods east from this point.
A necessary action for the progress of the territory.
Indeed. The Boundary Commission may now proceed as instructed by this act.
Attention. As of this date, March 1st, 1877, new regulations are in effect concerning the use of agency lands. The Ridge Point, establishing the first stake on the new line this March, 1877.
This order restricts hunting off the reservation. It must be obeyed.
But the treaty promised us these rights. You are setting aside your promises.
Agency circular at Chang's. Report for roll call or rations withheld until compliance.
The Black Hills Claim Office, May 1877.
Next. Name and coordinates, quickly now.
Hope Springs, 5 miles north of Custer City.
The whiskey was confiscated under agency regulations.
Log entry complete.
Move out.
The vacant blockhouses provided crucial shelter for the influx of mining families along the trail.
Due 1877, a cavalry patrol ensures the boundary is secure, but the Lakota scouts watch closely from the opposite bank.
The order stands. This camp must be moved south, closer to the agency. Begin dismantling the lodges now.
Ration days grow tighter. Elders wait as a clerk marks short issue next to several names.
No treaty shall be valid unless signed by at least 3/4 of all the adult male Indians.
This was not our understanding. What does this mean for the Powder River?
Agency instruction. Seize government animals from households absent at roll call until compliance is secured.
Sarah, are you present today?
Very good.
Rations are hereby issued.
The timber lease is officially approved, and the boundaries are recorded in the ledger. As the fences stretched further into the golden pasture, the old ways watched from the ridge. The rail spur connected the depot, fundamentally changing agency supply and trade in the valley.
This certificate guarantees you clear title to your own individual land, separate from the tribal trust.
But
A grid of quarter sections is measured. Notes show names to be written later beside each parcel.
The Commission sought signatures to partition the Great Sioux Reservation.
This agreement ensures the future prosperity of your people. We ask only for the surplus lands.
Into the Great Book, the clerk transcribed the names of the new reservations and affixed the date stamp of 1889. Compliance rose when rations were tied to school attendance and residents near the agency.
See this sign? It was the winter they cut our rations and moved the treaty line, bringing great hunger to the people.
The field notes showed an offset, acknowledging the sacred grand, but the official register held the straight line. This revised manual sets forth new duties, formalized patrols, school attendance collection, and strict alcohol enforcement.
Gold and settlement pressure drove policy faster than the law could honor earlier promises.
This revised boundary, indicated by the red line, hereby modifies the Great Sioux Reservation. The land within the...
Under the new regulations, hunting off the reservation is strictly prohibited.
The Treaty of 1868 guarantees our right to hunt in the unceded territory.
Horses listed as government property are seized from households the missed roll call. The clerk enters each animal into the book.
June 1877. The order had come down. All families were required to move closer to the agency headquarters.
Samuel Johnson.
Present, ma'am.
Very good. Mr. Davies, please note the clothing issue.
The ledger confirms the revised boundaries for the timber and grazing leases.
12 monthly deficits record in the ledger year.
And by this treaty, no cession of land shall be valid unless executed and signed by at least 3/4 of all the adult male Indians.
The allotment grid overriding the prior travel routes. A new order imposed on the land.
Allotments shall be made to each head of a family.
This takes too much. We must resist.
We will now call the names. Bear Shield.
This glyph here, the time of the lean buffalo. We move south across this line, searching.
Due to scarcity, the storekeeper adjusted the rates, forcing families to make difficult choices.
A more ripe and rank case of dishonorable dealings will never, in all probability, be found in our history.
The land is not for sale, and the award remains untouched.
Okay, repeat after me. Kitchissippi.
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 Following the remembered lines across the ridge, the elders guide the youth.
The frame holds a horizon.
This order is explicit. Your hunts are restricted beyond this line.
The Treaty of 1868 guarantees our right to hunt on the unceded territory.
Rations were tied to residence and roll call to enforce compliance.
1 roan steer, 2 spotted ponies, 3 Herefords, unbranded.
Thomas Blue Eagle, are you wearing the trousers issued last Tuesday?
Yes, instructor.
Very well. Abigail Little Fawn.
The posts marched across the pasture. tracing new corridors where old trails used to run.
This new corridor, where the buffalo once passed, would soon carry the weight of the new freight.
Easy on the chain there, watch your footing.
We have divided the reservation into these quarter sections for farming.
But the treaty requires the consent of all the people. We remember the terms.
A foot east, lads. Steady on the chain.
How is that, sir?
Perfect. Set the stake.
The agreement partitioned the Great Sioux Reservation, opening surplus lands after the required signatures were secured in 1889.
Line by line, the columns of births, deaths, and admissions grew across the decade.
John Smith, Sarah Jones, present yourselves for boarding.
This glyph marks the time of the lean winter, when the rations were short.
We remember the hardship. We honor those we lost.
A court opinion states that the Black Hills were taken unlawfully and awards compensation with accumulated interest.
We state clearly that the land is not for sale. This award remains untouched, as does our claim to Paha Sapa.
We say the names Neshotse, Hota Ayo, Mashe, Ohe Washte.
This is where the shift occurs. The language in the 1877 statute's consent clause fundamentally undermines the earlier treaties. The 1877 Act bypassed consent, and the 1980 decision recognized an unlawful taking with compensation ordered.
The wartime context shifts the meaning of this clause entirely.
I disagree. The signatory count here is too low.
We need to verify the dates on this map.
This panel highlights the difficult years. Here we see the symbols for the ration cuts and the new reservation boundaries imposed that winter.
And this one, how do we pronounce it?
Witchy.
Very good.
Each year we ride this ridge, linking the memory to the land. The taking was unlawful.
This trust fund represents the compensation, but taking it means closing the land claim on Paha Sapa forever.
And this leads us directly to the timeline.
Yes, if we look here, the sequence from 1868 to 1889 is crucial for understanding the consent clause.
These drawings are more than art. They are records of travel, of councils, and of profound change.
Treaties drew a map in words, but statutes, hunger, and surveys redrew it in practice, and the question of land endures.
The wind carries an echo of a promise, one that does not expire.